Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Former member of the original Black Panther Party, Larry Pinkney, joins us now. And Larry, I wanted to get your take on the protest and the riots, anti-Trump riots, anti-Trump protests that are spreading throughout the country right now, and the mainstream media's narrative that it was angry white men that got Donald Trump elected. If I wasn't mistaken, it almost looks as if the mainstream media is trying to divide the nation. What do you think?
Well, I think that's pretty obvious. Divide, conquer, divide, divide, divide. The fact of the matter is that they're not anti. First of all, the so-called protesters, what they are is anti-democracy. See, it was okay as long as they thought that their person was going to quote unquote win, and that's the kind of democracy they like. But if the democracy turns out a different way, then what do? They show that they're hypocrites. Hypocrites, okay? There are people who voted for third parties. There are people who voted for Trump. But the fact of the matter is they were exercising their constitutional right. And I am disgusted by the actions, which, by the way, I think there's a hidden hand in there, the hidden hand of George Soros, the
Absolutely.
hidden hand, okay, and his henchmen and minions.
Yeah.
But this is disgusting. It's just utterly disgusting. These people, unfortunately, apparently, are ahistorical. Ahistorical. No sense of history. Certainly no sense of justice or of democracy.
Well, and it's always the same. You hear the same thing from these guys nationwide. In fact, we're going to run a clip real quick here in a second. Our crew met up with anti-Trump protesters here in Austin just last week, and one of the guys confronted Joe Biggs, and he said if he voted for Trump, that he was a racist piece of you-know-what. Let's take a look.
Fucking piece of shit racist. Oh, yeah. We got xenophobe too, right? Homophobic. Let me get all that too.
Oh, it's fucking true.
How is he racist?
How?
Yeah.
Fucking Trump. Do you see what Trump's doing? Do you see what he supports? Like, I don't even want to bother with y'all.
No, I honestly,
joke,
hey,
dude.
I honestly want to know your opinion.
I honestly want to know. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I'm not gonna, dude. This is a public street. This is a public street, man. This is your problem. Is that you don't want to talk to anyone.
There's
you just
no
assume
point.
everyone's.
There's no point.
I'm not a racist. That's fucked up. I'm not racist.
You got Trump in the office.
I got Trump in the office.
Did you vote for Trump?
I'm not here to talk about who voted for who.
Get the fuck out of here.
All I did was ask you why you're here.
This is about the presidency. Get the fuck out of here if you don't.
He's already president. You're not gonna change it.
I'm not trying to change it.
You're not gonna change it.
I know I'm not. He's the fucking president. Like, no shit. Fucking dumbass.
So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
We're protesting the fact that he got fucking elected.
Okay. All right.
Like, no shit.
So there you go. You can see right there how the mainstream media is able to brainwash these people into thinking Trump is something that he's not, because he never said that he hated Mexicans. He never said that he hates immigrants. He simply said he wants to stop illegal immigration. Am I right?
Yeah. And, I guess I would say illegal entry. Okay.
Yeah, there's really no such thing as illegal immigration.
Okay. And any country would say, wait a minute, before you enter our country, you must do so under our rules. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So that's my take on that. And as far as racism is concerned, did they ever hear Hillary Clinton talk, or Hillary as I call her, Hillary? Have they forgotten about Hillary's remark about black people as super predators? Have they forgotten that? Have they forgotten that she called anyone who basically didn't support her deplorable, a basket of deplorables? I mean, this is sick. And so, quite frankly, I have to put a lot of that responsibility first and foremost on the media, but also on Hillary Clinton or Hillary Clinton, okay? Because she hasn't come out, repudiated that statement in such a way that people say, oops, we're making fools of ourselves and of this nation. Enough already. Enough already.
Well, you're absolutely right. Now, I want to go over some statistics with you right now. It is estimated that there are 820,000 convicted criminals who are non-U.S. citizens living in the United States. And these are the drug smugglers, the rapists, and the murderers that Donald Trump was talking about. These are not guys that are guilty of parking violations, all right? These are dangerous criminals committing crimes against Americans. According to the 2010 Government Accountability Office, we have 55,000 illegal immigrants in federal prison. Almost 40% of the federal crimes in the U.S. were crimes committed by illegals. The cost of illegal immigration to the American taxpayers is $113 billion every single year. Yet we have the Denver Police Department that is now saying publicly that they will not cooperate with Donald Trump's immigration enforcement. And Mayor Rahm Emanuel from Chicago says he is not willing to cooperate either. Chicago will always be a sanctuary city. And for more on that, we go to Margaret Howell, who is standing by.
Hi, Darren. Hi, Larry. You know, that's absolutely right, Darren. And how dare they? We're talking about Denver Police Department. What Denver said was that they are not going to be a part of the enforcement. What Chicago said, and Rahm Emanuel, he's stonewalling future president or President-elect Trump's initiative to enforce the law. So you tell me what can be done about that. It looks like during this press conference, he said that the city's status as a sanctuary city will remain intact forever. Okay, well, there are a number of things that could happen here. President Trump could withdraw any federal money going to Chicago. The National Guard is sent in to enforce federal policy when cities and states don't comply. Who does he think he is?
This guy has got to be the worst mayor in Chicago's history. Chicago is imploding right now. Chicago is collapsing. They have one of the highest murder rates, highest crime rates in
American history, not even Chicago history, American history, worst mayor in American history. And he circumvents the law. He snubs his nose. He's one incredibly, allegedly corrupt political official. We could go into, we could spend an afternoon talking about the corruption involving the Chicago mayor. I also want to point out, Rahm Emanuel was a senior advisor at one time, very close ally to Barack Obama.
Well,
if that tells you anything.
Well, big surprise, big surprise. Well, thanks, Margaret. I want to go back and get Larry Pinkney's comments on that. So the mayors of these big cities across the nation are not cooperating. The Denver police say they will not cooperate. What do you think about all that?
Well, it's very interesting to me that they're saying they're not going to cooperate with President-elect Trump. Whether you like him, whether you don't, that's not the point. Because if the situation were reversed, okay, the first thing that these folks would be saying is, well, the law this, the law that, okay? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as the old saying goes. And I find it ironic, to say the very least, that people such as the two individuals, Rahm Emanuel, by the way, who's an incredibly racist person, by the way, he's playing politics, okay, bourgeois politics. And, you know, this is something that I think goes to the very core of our quote-unquote democracy in this country. Time will tell. Time will tell. And as far as the Denver Police Department is concerned, time will tell on them too, because as Margaret mentioned, funds, federal funds. Remember what Obama did when he did his little thing, his executive order, saying that, you know, certain people who felt that they were of a certain gender, even if they weren't, could. He said, do you remember what I'm talking about, Darren?
Yes.
About the schools?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. that they could go into the
And go to
bathroom.
the
So
school
a guy,
bathrooms. Mhm.
exactly, okay, and I mean, you're talking. This is absurd. It's almost beyond absurd. I mean, what has happened to our common sense? And people are just being played off, duped, duped,
Well,
played
and I think like mayors like Rahm Emanuel, they just want to keep everyone on the Democratic plantation, and
Sure.
that's what they're trying to do. This is not about a knocking on people's doors and ripping families apart. Donald Trump's going after the criminals. Okay, these are the criminals who committed crimes against Americans in this country. They're going to be deported immediately. That's what this is all about. And you talk about the establishment, and we've got a minute left, so I want to get your reaction on this real quick. But you and I both know that Donald Trump is anti-establishment, and it's always been the establishment who has tried to divide this country from the very beginning. You yourself, you were you took a very prominent role in the civil rights activist back in the 60s, and they went after you. COINTELPRO went after you because of your ability to unite people of all color. Tell us more about that.
That's right. And, you know, they made it very clear that I had to be, quote, neutralized because of my ability to unify black, white, brown, red, yellow people, okay, against the establishment game. And the same thing is happening, but on a much, much larger level. Again, whether people like or dislike or think they like or dislike President-elect Trump is not the point. The point is stop being duped. Stop it. And once again, the establishment, as Dr. Paul Craig Roberts pointed out in a recent article, the oligarchy is not dead. It's very much alive. The Clinton Foundation mafia is not dead. It's very much alive. George Soros and his activities, he's not dead. He's very much alive and active. Wake up, people. Black, white, brown, red, yellow. Wake up.
Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities and is tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. It's such a game changer if you'll just research iodine for yourself. It's a fact that the federal government in the Midwest back in the 20s mandated a grungier form of iodine to the salt because people had low IQs, they had huge goiters, major problems directly connected to it. There are some studies that show a 15-point increase. Others show even higher. But it really is crazy to realize that this is something that is so deficient in our food chain, so deficient in our played out fields where different crops are being grown, but the federal government isn't educating people and telling them about it. That's why for a limited time, I want to encourage everyone to go to InfoWarsLife.com and get 20% off on the best nascent iodine out there from our research, truly pure Survival Shield X2. Again, that's Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Thank you for joining us in this brief news update. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician, because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician, because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You've got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.